Her sounds the best. I don't know why.
Thanks.
All right.
She just got a voice for radio.
That is really cool. Okay. Episode 7. Everyone ready? Everyone confident?
Ready.
What's the Kyrie.
Kyrie is here.
Kyrie's here.
Yay!
We made it. Welcome back, everybody, to the 505 podcast. My co-host Sam is here with me.
Hola.
And we have a guest today, Miss Kyrie. Are you married yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay, 'cause honestly, I see your name on the group chat, and it's Stratton, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyrie Stratton.
Yes.
I kept calling her Kyrie for like the longest time ever. But it's because I don't know, there's a famous basketball player, his name is also Kyrie. So I just, that kind of defaults to that.
But I was born first, so.
Oh, there we go.
You probably get that a lot, though.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So anyways, we have Kyrie here because she is another member of the 505 Media Co. crew. And we are trying to just get everybody to, at least do one. So then that way we can introduce them to whoever's listening, whoever's watching, whoever's subscribing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that we just want to get to know you, get to know the people want to get to know you. They want to get to know Sam. They want to get to know me. They want to get to know Tabitha. I don't know if they really do, but that's what we're here to do. So, but anyways, we hired you last summer.
I think it was actually November.
Yeah. I remember it was still like...
It was probably still warm in November.
It was still warm, yeah. So I remember it was still warm, and then it just recently got cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of nowhere it got cold. But you were hired on as a part-time photographer, and you were trying to train up and all that, but I think we just got some news that you're probably not going to want to do it anymore.
No. So I was actually hired on to be part-time day coordinator, and then I let you know, I did some photography as well, and I showed you some work, and I did some photography on the side for you, like complimentary photos and some shoots. And what happened is that the first SME event that I have coming up in April is a wedding, and I didn't know. And I instantly got anxiety because I was like,
you got nervous?
Yeah. I've never done a wedding before.
Is it solo, or are they doing photo and video through us?
It's photo and video, and I'm with Alex.
Oh,
so
nice.
I wasn't sure of myself. I wasn't confident, and I was talking to Crystal about it, and she's like, you know what? If you don't feel comfortable, then you don't have to do photography. And she's like, do you just want to do day coordinating and rentals? And I was like, yeah. So
What made you think you weren't qualified to do that?
not really qualified. I just don't have experience. So
Well, everyone with experience has to start somewhere, though.
I know.
That's the thing.
I know. I don't know. I felt like if it gave me anxiety, I probably shouldn't do it.
Well, I think all of us kind of go through that period in time where when we're first starting out, it's kind of, we get that anxiety. Sam, I'm pretty sure you've had a moment in time where you just didn't feel, A, you were qualified, or B, if you were ready or not.
Oh, the whole time?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what your, how deep you want to dive.
Right.
It depends if you're willing to jump off the cliff, Sam, can you think of a time where, yes, all the time, probably, sure, but can you think of your first one
I've
where
got
you
the
were just
perfect time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was a while ago, and it was actually a couple years into 50, or not 505. It was a couple years into Samtastic, and Tabitha was helping me video record at that point. And we had gone back to back, video record, video, and then we finally did just an all-day photo one, and we were like, oh wow, this is a lot easier. Remember that one? You've got a mic, you can say that now. Yeah, it was a great day. At that point, I was like, okay, I think I got this. But it's it took a while to get up there, mostly because, from starting out to getting up there, there's a huge learning curve of, all right, I know my equipment. Okay, weddings are a little sketchy. You don't know what to expect all the time, but you got the day plan. And it just it's just a growth. It's just a gradual growth. And eventually you get there.
Right. And not only that, I was feeling like my plate was getting kind of over full. Because I'm going to be starting my own business as well.
Sure.
I have my I'm be getting my license hopefully on Wednesday. It's when I take my state board test.
Sure.
So, and then I graduate Friday, and then in April I should be opening my own business as well. And I want to keep 505 separate. So if my plate is too full, you know, I'm gonna like topple over.
That totally makes sense, and I understand why it would be a concern. You know, I understand why it would be, you know, one of those uneasy feelings.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess my biggest question is, and I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm not saying this to be a jerk or anything like that. You know, what happens if you don't pass, or what happens if you don't? You know,
I have three tries within the year, and I have 3
There we go.
years that I can take my test.
Sure.
But I'm
That's like
I'm
my
pretty
how confident are you?
I'm pretty confident.
Okay, that's good.
I've been studying for over a month.
Is this like a hard test to take, or?
I wouldn't like a lot of people say that it's hard, but I'm just thinking how many hours have they actually put into studying?
Sure.
You know, but I was friends with a lot of people that have taken it. That I went to school, and they're like,
It's like,
just
oh my god,
they're
those
like
guys are dumbasses. I
they're
could do
like,
it too.
they're
No, I'm
like
just kidding.
they're like study this. Then they gave me pointers. They gave me things to study that they studied that really helped them, and
Sure.
I can.
Do they also have their own businesses?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be my thing. Is now I see you as competition. If I were your friends,
Yeah.
Because even though there's tons of people looking to get, you know, their what are you going esthetician?
yeah,
right? What
esthetician.
is that exactly?
So it's skincare.
Okay,
so
skincare.
facials, waxing. There's
So how do you compete with the massage envies, with all the spas that are in the Beauty and the Beach, all that kind of stuff? How
So-
do you compete with those?
Beauty.
well massage.
That's what it's called. It's in Crown Point.
Massage-
Not sponsored.
Yeah. Massage Envy is geared towards massages. There are massages in some of my what's the word?
Profession field.
Yeah, field, but it's mainly for the face.
Okay.
So what I specialize in are facials.
Okay.
You know, relax, you know, cucumbers on eyes, that sort of stuff. There are back treatments that have a like a back massage, but they don't go in depth like Massage Envy.
Okay.
There's not really much of that around here, maybe Blue Chip, but
Sure.
I feel like I would be more personable because it's just me. I don't have employees.
Sure.
So I feel that I can be on a different level than they would.
And then how would you compete with their growth, essentially? Because obviously you're going to have to set a standard, a price tag, all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Versus the people who have already been, like how many people are in your class?
Right now, gosh, we have 40 students up top.
So assuming that all 40 students pass, and I'm assuming that all of them, let's say half of them go to work for somewhere else, for an actual starter company, and then you start your company as well too, and then the other half start their own company too. Like, how do you differentiate? How are you going to differentiate yourself? I know. Here, let me tell you a story from me.
That's such a hard question.
It is
too.
really hard.
I know, because I mean, I'm looking out for you. Obviously, we're all friends here,
Right.
and obviously, if Sam wanted to do something, I would give him very hard questions, so that way he thinks of it. You know, because starting a business is not easy by
no.
any stretch
Yeah.
of the means. Sam knows this, Tabitha knows this, Kevin knows this, pretty much everybody knows this. And you guys see the type of level that we're at right now, where it's nonstop. Like, there's 10 unanswered emails right now. That's driving me nuts. But the only reason we're not answering them right now is because it's the weekend. So we kind of
Right.
have to decompress a little bit, you know? But literally, if you, when you're starting your own business, there is no life for the first year,
Yeah.
maybe even 2 years, and then max 3. No life, no social, maybe a vacation once a year, you know. But even then, it's you still have anxiety. Like when I went on my personal vacation, I still had anxiety for the entire week and a half or 2 weeks that I was gone, and everybody was here and stuff like that, and I just had no control over it, you know. So how are you going to differentiate yourself from the 40 top 40 or just 40?
There's 40.
Okay, so how are you going to differentiate from 40 people? Are you going to have your own brick and mortar? Are you going to provide it at home, in-home visits or something like that? What's going to be the difference?
So, well, the difference is that most of them are from the Chicago area, and I'm not. So I'll be based out here in Michigan City, and there's maybe one person who's in the LaPorte area, who's in the same class as I am, but everyone else is from Chicago.
Okay.
So that kind of separates me. Also, like, I guess I really would have to show them what I can do. You know, because when you first started out, your first thing was you took video on an iPhone.
Yeah.
But you did awesome work, which showed proof that you can do it.
Sure.
So that's kind of what I plan on doing. Right now, I guess I would have to start off like word of mouth, but I already have a website started. I already have my own domain. My website's published, but I just don't have any business right now because we're not set up like that. But once I'm set up, I'm going to invest in Google. So when people like Google, say body sculpting or facials in the area, my name will pop up.
Body
Nice.
sculpting. I actually recently heard something about body sculpting. I think Crystal is looking into that as well too. She's wanting to get a couple things, you know, stuff that she feels uncomfortable with, and she, you know, instead of spending it's
What is body sculpting?
So body sculpting is basically, so it's not a weight loss. So that's what people kind of confuse body sculpting is weight loss, but it's not. So what it is breaking the fat cells down and then moving it to a different area. So, you know.
That's possible?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes. So a lot of it involves wood therapy, like basically
Rolling it out?
rolling it out, and then vacuum therapy, which is suction.
Do you know about this stuff, Tabitha?
Moving it to a different area, which a lot of people.
Do you guys get it?
I mean, they could. Yeah.
Like if I want the beer belly just moved up here to make my pecs look bigger.
So there, you would have to work out because if I
you have to build muscle.
Yeah, if I moved the fat to your
looks
chest,
like you have tits, bro.
you would have moobs.
Nice tits, bro.
So again, it's just one of those things that I admire people for starting their own business. I really, really do. But in the same level as we're in right now with other photographers and videographers, it is very, 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 very competitive. And even if you considered, you know, and I'm just going to give you advice right now because it's one of those things that I have to let you know so then that way you could plan moving forward as well. I'm not going to try to deter you. Do it, but do it right.
Right.
You know, I don't want you to start it a year and a half later, nothing happened with it, and, you know.
Right, and then I lose motivation.
Because that's one of the big things is that losing motivation is probably the number one business killer. Because if you have zero motivation to post on social media, to go out there, knock on doors, to go ahead and have a mentorship, because you technically, even though you're graduated, you don't have any experience. No. So the first maybe 10 to 50 clients, maybe 20 to 50 clients are going to be your practice clients, right? Yeah. So at that point, then you're going to have to, you know, offer something that's incredibly different than everybody else. So that way you can get those practice runs in.
And that's the part with, I've talked to Crystal about it because we were on the phone talking about it after I decided that I wasn't going to do photography, and she was giving me pointers, which was awesome. Like,
what'd she say?
She's like, make sure you do specials. Do something like once every couple of months.
I would say for you as a new business, you'd want to do something either weekly or bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So then that way you can keep it fresh, you know?
Yeah.
I think in Sam's case, in owning a business, I think he mentioned it on a couple episodes before. It's just that he just did not keep up the social media.
Yeah, I wasn't on it as much as I should have been. But it did create a really interesting market where my main income was from a lot of word of mouth. So I was getting tons of word of mouth out there, but just nothing that was like reaching out other places.
Right.
Yeah.
And the difference with us, though, even though I started 99.999% of the business here in Northwest Indiana, I personally was willing to eat the cost, take it on the chin, do like the physically exhausting hard work in order to have the clients that we have today.
Right.
That's why we're able to go to Wisconsin. That's why we're able to go to Michigan, Florida, all these other states, And I was curious to kind of see where, because honestly, I thought you were going to work for someone first to gain that experience.
So that was the plan. But I have kids and I don't have childcare.
Yeah, no, and that's a hard part too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have dogs. I know they're not kids. They're
the same thing.
They're kind of less. Well, the people still frown upon. Honestly, if you really think about it, if you leave your dogs like tied up to a chain and you leave your kids tied up to a chain, then I think you'd probably get almost an equal reaction.
Yeah.
And you can go to jail for both.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like one or the other. One's
Well,
tighter than
it's
the
different
other.
when you leave your dog at home and your children at home by themselves.
Some people do put their children on a leash, though.
I've
you know-
seen that, those backpack things. with
So
the
I'm not
leashes on.
judging because I had to do it with my son. So
Is he a wild one?
he is a wild one.
Wow.
Just
So-
be like my mom and tell him, go around the house a lot so you calm down.
Like I had to because like if I was grocery shopping, he hated sitting in the cart. So if I set him down, he would run. He would take off. And
Yeah.
like grocery shopping was horrible. So I had to leash him, just to keep him by me.
so that's kind of childcare, that's one obstacle
Yeah.
right there, and I totally understand that because obviously, and as an esthetician you're going to be working by appointment, so your appointments
Yeah.
could be anywhere from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm assuming.
Yep.
And how long does a facial or a treatment cost, or not cost, but
How long does it last?
take?
Well, a facial, like if it's a really good facial, can last anywhere to an hour to an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how far can you relocate said fat? Like, can you take, like, I'm just saying, if I have, like, really big cankles, but I want bigger lips, can you just, like,
Well, no.
Okay.
No. Unfortunately, we can't.
oh,
Just move all your feet fat to your lips.
Just put like a suction cup, like. No.
Go ahead, Tabby.
these are hard-hitting questions.
No, I'm just laughing at my husband. It's funny.
Oh, okay. No, it's so and that's kind of I guess that's my 2 cents of it, is that I think that when you're starting your own business, you absolutely, like, this is like ride or die kind of shit,
Right.
because even though, yes, you're technically speaking, you're a stay-at-home mom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm not saying anything against stay-at-home moms. You guys are
Right.
awesome. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She only started working up until later, into her later years, because she wanted a little bit extra spending money, and she wouldn't want to have to, go through the same, the channels of asking my dad or whatever, this, that, and the other. She just wanted her own money. She's very independent, whatever, right? So, being a stay-at-home mom, when you have how many kids?
I have 2.
2 kids. That's a lot.
And a bonus one.
And a bonus one. Okay. Yes. Okay. A bonus. The face that you made was so funny. Anyways, having 2 kids like that, or 3 kids total, essentially, I'm not saying it can't be done, because there's plenty of women in the world
Yeah.
that start their own business and are able to be successful, et cetera, et cetera. Even some of the photographers that I know as well too, that are female and have and that are kids and stuff like that, they are able to do it as well, but they just have to have this is going to be my next point. You have to have a very, 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 very strong support system.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one thing to be able to go to a job like, let's say, 505 Media Company, do a rental for a few hours and call it a night, But it's another thing to be at the office all day with appointments, with treatments, with this, with that, with all that other shit, It can be very, 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 very taxing on both people in the relationship.
But it sounds like you've already got a pretty good start to your
Talk to me,
encouragement group.
talk to me
yeah.
about your support system.
So, my boyfriend,
Okay.
he's amazing.
Yeah. What's his name?
His name's Adam.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah. So Adam is very supportive. He actually pushed me into going back to school.
That's good for him.
Because
Usually it's the opposite, right?
Yeah. But he was very gung ho about it. No, we can do it. You know, it's not a problem. We'll figure it out. His idea was to like be at home instead of me working somewhere else.
Sure.
Just, you know, like build a little studio in our house. And
It's good for the taxes.
yeah.
Good write-offs.
Yeah.
It is.
And I wouldn't have to, because I could rent a suite, you know.
Yeah.
But
Then you have overhead, though.
yeah. And then what if I don't, you know, have a lot of clients that come in right away? You know, then how would I afford that rent?
That's
So-
kind of like the hardest part. I remember when we got our first studio, Sam, you were there. Tabitha, I think you might have been there once or something like that. But just because she wasn't a part of 505 back then. It was a very proud moment. Like I was very happy that I was able to move it out of the house and into an actual designated office. You know, that was probably the most satisfying moment that I've ever had as a business owner, is to be able to know that it's there. Then it sank in super hard. Fuck, I got to come up with X amount of dollars every single month.
Yeah.
And that was the scariest thing that I ever had to, well, not ever had to, but that was very, very scary at the time, because it put some doubt in me, in my abilities, in my, you know, in my business, in the team. You know, if anything went derailed, which a couple things did go derailed, but, you know, we're still here, we're still going, we're still strong. It's a different type of sensation. Sam, did you ever have your own office or own studio or anything like that?
Yeah, pretty close to it. I was a member of what was called a 101 CO3, which is a communal office building in Mishawaka.
Okay.
So whenever I had like a meeting with a client or classes for my students, I'd go there and I'd rent out an office section. And it wasn't like I have like room C3, like this is my room, but it was like you get choices between like upstairs, downstairs, room A1 through A5. Like,
Gotcha.
It was really cool because you still had to pay like a monthly fee for it.
How
but
much
it
was it?
It was, for me, I got grandfathered in at $50 a month.
Oh,
It was fantastic.
that's so good.
Yeah, I got
See,
in
if
right
suites
before
were
they
like
changed
that,
it.
then I would have no problem
No,
renting a
but
suite.
the thing is too, and I've seen a couple girls, because in our industry we also have a lot of makeup artists, a lot of hair people, all that kind of stuff.
Which makeup artist does fall under the esthetician line. But I decided I didn't want to do it because
You want to focus more on the skin.
Yeah.
So what are the degrees of esthetician? Is that right?
Yeah. Esthetician. So when you think esthetician, you really think of skincare. So anything that involves the skin. So facials, massages, which there's only like so many massages that we can do without actually getting into stepping out of our scope of practice. And then makeup, eyelashes, like eyelash extensions, which is a huge market right now.
Eyelashes,
yeah.
yeah. Crystal's
Huge.
trying to get like eyelashes every other week.
Play
Yeah.
the SpongeBob meme with Patrick's. He's like 40 lashes.
But there's just so much that I mean, spray tanning. I can get in spray tanning as well. Yeah, which it would revolve around a lot of the brides.
Yes,
you know,
because
so,
a lot of these girls, you know, and I've noticed that they're not doing it as much anymore. I probably maybe 5 years ago, you had to be tan, you had to be spray tan before the day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah,
no
there was that weird, like...
even the dudes. Because they wanted to have that look for their picture, so that way they're just not pale ghosts, essentially, you know.
right.
Especially if they're having a winter wedding, especially if they're having a fall wedding, stuff like that, you know. But yeah, so there's different levels to all that shit,
Yeah.
right? So there's different levels to being an esthetician. So what are you going to be primarily focusing on? Because there's no way you can do all of that right off the bat.
Oh no, I don't plan on. So right now I'm just doing facials. I'm doing body sculpting and laser lipo, and I'll be doing back treatments as well.
Okay.
Also, I plan to eventually get into eyelash extensions, which it's a continued education course. So eventually I'll be there.
Okay.
I do have a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I was wondering, you know how a lot of people that work in hair, they sell a lot of products and they then ask their opinion on what products. With your esthetician, are you allowed legally to recommend products and help people
Oh,
with
absolutely.
what goes on their skin?
So-
Oh, yeah, like give like prescriptions
Yep.
and things like that.
Yep. So right now, my skincare is through SkinScript, and I would recommend like different product. Like, so if someone would have problem with acne, which is a big thing,
Sure.
I could let them know like, hey, SkinScript has this. You can order it through me, and it'll be in within a week.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I can do all that.
What's the percentage of something like that go to the esthetician for? What, 10%?
It depends.
5%?
So I would make my own price.
Oh, so whatever
I would
you
buy it and then charge them a price.
Gotcha.
That sounds kind of scary too, though.
It can be.
Because if you go, and again, that beauty market is such a crazy market. Like it's different than just hair and makeup, because hair and makeup, when you zone in on that, that's the very fundamental of beauty, in my opinion, I think, right? Once you start getting into facials, body sculpting, these are actual procedures that need to be done, not necessarily cutting you
So
open. But
yeah,
like
body
they're-
sculpting
yeah.
is not invasive. So
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're
yeah.
not cutting you open, but
Yeah.
these are actual things that you have to do versus you just sitting there and they put on makeup on your face for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Would that also include like removing moles and skin tags?
So that's in with the medical
Okay.
esthetician. That's another level. So I would have to go to school more. There's a school in Illinois that would offer it. It's like a 2-week course where I can learn all that. That's also Botox injections, lip fillers, microneedling. That's more of the medical side that I can do if I wanted to. And I can work in a dermatologic, or not dermatology, dermatology.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dermalogica is a brand, not sponsored.
Dermalogical. No, okay, so I'm not trying and I hope you don't take this as me trying to be a deterrent or anything
Yeah,
like
no.
that. I just when someone's talking business, I get very interested in how are you going to build that business, because I never got to ask anyone. How do you build a photo business, Sam? Tabitha, how do you build a knitting business? How do you build, not saying that she does that like
Oh my goodness, he brings up my knitting all the time. I think this is the third one. Ding.
So
how do you build that type of business, And as someone who is just now graduating, who I have got to know over the past maybe 6 months or so, it's not that I have doubts, it's just that I have questions, and if I can help you answer those questions or help you along with them, so then that way you could be more successful. Like, I wish 1000% that I had someone that would ask me those questions, because I probably wouldn't have fucked up so much in the beginning. I probably wouldn't have been, just sending PayPal or Venmo or this or that. I probably would have been able to, get a lot further in my career versus, just kind of stumbling and fumbling along, and then, okay, we're here now, but you guys didn't see all the other bullshit that I had to go through,
Yeah, we all need a really good influence.
So please don't take it that way.
No.
Take it in a way of like, I'm just asking questions that, if you haven't asked yourself, I'm glad I'm asking you that, so that way you can walk through that process and think about it and stuff, Sam, don't you agree? Don't you wish you had somebody? I mean, I don't know. You
Yeah,
went
we
to
all need a good mentor.
like you went to school for it, so you had some idea of like photography or that type of industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I had a ton of classmates to kind of pal around with and see their process. And there were a couple other classmates that were working towards their own business. And some upperclassmen that would actually come back to Ivy Tech to like give advice.
Do they do that, or do they just teach you all the procedure stuff?
So they teach us like the basics. They don't have any contiguous.
I don't
yeah,
like that.
they don't have any contiguous education. So this is the one thing about aesthetics that kind of sucks. So they teach us the basics in school, and then it's up to me to go out and
That's so fucking
learn.
stupid, bro.
I know that was the worst thing.
What do you plan on teaching these people, or teaching you guys, other than, okay, go out there, figure it out?
Yeah.
Get
How do
that
I
hands-on.
how do I get clients? How do I bring them in? How do I start up? What typically a startup cost, you know?
That's another class. other
Because in
fees.
your case, if I'm thinking of it, this is kind of like my business mind working right here, right? If I was like, Curie, I'm going to fund your entire business, okay? How much do I need to spend in order to get you fully funded?
Oh my God. I don't know. So there was one, so Dermalogica, not sponsored.
That's our
Dermalogica
catchphrase,
is a skincare product that my school uses their product.
Do you know why
on
they use it
people.
though? Because they're sponsored. That's why.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so they would come in and they would talk to us about continuing education, what we needed to learn. And I asked one of the consultants, you know, how much would it be to have an account with you, just a starter account? And they're like $1,500. I was like,
It's not too
which
bad.
it's not too bad, but when you think about it, skincare, how much is actually $1,500 worth?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how much they would charge. Oh, I get a percentage because I'm a student, but that percentage, they say half off, but it's really not half off. So
See,
$1,500 worth of product isn't gonna really get me anywhere.
that whole beauty industry, Sam, is so scary.
It's so
because
overblown,
there's a
too.
lot. No offense.
No, you're fine.
There's a lot of scams.
There is.
There's the Mary Kays. There's all that other bullshit. You know,
Well,
the Revlon, all that.
yeah.
And
Well, see those are pyramid schemes.
yes,
Mine
but
is
when
not
you
gonna be a
have- No.
pyramid.
I'm not saying yours
Yeah.
is going to be a pyramid scheme, but when they have all these consultants coming to your school to be able to shove, because guess who they're going to sell all this stuff to at the end of the school year?
Yeah.
You know, they got to get her started somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to give her a discount. They have to be able to justify the cost and the price of being able to stay at that school. That's what drives me nuts. You don't see Sony at Ivy Tech.
Sadly, no.
You don't see
That would be
I
smart.
would love to see
You don't
Sony
see-
fund the videography at Ivy Tech. That would be amazing.
That's my problem with the beauty industry, is that it's so, I mean, great, if you want to use the products, but in my personal and professional opinion, like that's like the hardest, unless you have a product that's margins are so astronomically high, you know, to where it costs you like 50 cents to make and then you're selling it for $10 or some bullshit like that, right? I don't know if you even know if there's a product like that out there, but still. God, I gotta stop drinking that. I keep getting these like mini burps. I'm so sorry. But
Haven't you
if there is a
learned?
product like that, what was that, Tabitha?
I said, haven't you learned by episode 7? Stop drinking energy drinks.
And I was gonna bring water too, but I got lazy and I just didn't want to
Do you
refill
need
it.
me to go get you one?
No. It's okay. But
Okay.
we'll ride this out. Okay. We made it this far. But unless you have a product like that, and unless, you know, these schools are because schools are not transparent whatsoever. Like, schools are the last places that like, I was just listening to a podcast today. It's called Crystal and Soccer, you know, the Breaking Points, not sponsored, but I listened to their podcast, and they had a segment on MBAs. You know what an MBA is? It's a business degree,
Yeah.
essentially. It's the highest level of business degree that you can actually attain. Harvard Business School has programs like that. New York University has programs like that. Business school universities. You probably can't get it at Ivy Tech. I don't know if they offer MBAs there, but either way, the way they're teaching those kids now about business, they're not teaching them to be wholesome business owners or
Right.
business, you know, this, that, and the others. They're teaching them to be cutthroat motherfuckers that go in there and make maximum amounts of profits.
That's
you know,
the way to do it.
you're right, that is, but then that hoses you, and then that hoses me, and then by default it hoses her as well too, because now you have, what's the name of that company?
Dermalogica?
Okay, I'm not saying that they're like this, but they have to build the product. They have to make the product, and then they have to have someone go and sell that. And what's better to go sell it to people that are in a school that don't know anything about business, profit margins, overhead, ROI, stuff like that, and just assume because I spend $1,500 of my savings, in most cases, and in most, you know, in most students, that's all their savings, right? Without a support system, they're just gonna do it. I don't even know what the success rate of something like that is. You know, I mean, maybe because I'm not educated, but maybe your school has some numbers on that. That if I were you, I would ask your schools like, hey, can you refer me to someone so that way I can have a one-on-one conversation with, or can you connect me to what's the company called?
Dermalogica.
Dermalogica. Can you refer me to one of the consultants again? Because I have questions.
Yeah.
I have questions on how I'm supposed to move this. Because you're not going to move anything if you don't have a brick and mortar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to have it displayed. You can't just, you can go knock on doors and shit and it's like, hey, you want to buy this stuff? And if you're not a good salesman, then 99.9% of the time they're going to tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
Or Facebook ads with some really good product photos.
When they came, like one of their things is that like for you to start your own business, yeah, that's the main thing. That's your main goal. But I would recommend you starting at a company. Okay, if I start at a company, then I won't have open availability. I won't be able to leave if something's wrong with my child. And I wouldn't be able to do 505 media because they would probably have me work on the weekends. You know?
It's very possible. And that's kind of like the unfortunate part. And I'm not saying here, by no means do I have to say that like you guys are tied to 505 media. Obviously,
Right.
if they had the greatest opportunity ever, then go do it, you know? Most of the people that have worked here though, unfortunately, they did not have great opportunities lined up for them.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of stop.
The way you said that.
Well, they
we're
are.
built on people with broken opportunities.
I was honestly thinking the same thing.
No. What I'm saying is after they leave here, they left here because they either A, did something stupid, Christian.
I was like, are we name dropping?
Yes, bro, you should have heard
Christian, Mary, Sebastian.
you should have heard the last podcast. Bro. I went in on him so hard, and it's kind of cringe, but still, I needed to get it out, you know, because I needed to get out into the world as well too, so in that way, you know, people understand what I was actually going through, because that's how much that sucked, and I don't know, it's just it seems very, and I'm not saying you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, it's gonna when you do it, it's gonna be very, 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 very difficult. You know, I would say.
I plan on it being difficult.
Yeah.
I don't feel, and like Crystal, she was like, I'm all for it. Like I pray, like I hope that you do really well when you're first starting out.
Because she's gonna be going to you like all the time. That's why.
Carrie, give me some special treatment.
Right? No.
I'm treating Tabby out for her birthday.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Tabby.
Yeah, she could definitely do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's one of my things. That's what I'm hoping. Like with me just starting out, my prices are going to be a lot lower than a lot of people. I want to be affordable. There's a lot of stuff that's not affordable. You
How
know?
much is a body sculptor?
Yeah, how much is affordable?
So if you go to Chicago,
Right.
it's $175 for an area, one treatment. My starting out for one area is $60.
And don't you have to get it done multiple times to really see the end result?
Yep.
Like
So
3
they
times?
say for you to actually see like a huge difference. So for someone that has my body type, I'm bigger. So it would take up to 6 sessions before I really see it.
6.
Oh, wow.
Before I would see a
So like
difference.
$600, $700, $800.
That's if you're in Chicago. So mine's $60 an area, or I have special package prices that I have 3 sessions a package.
So, Carrie, we know what you do. So why did you choose to be in, I forgot the word again.
Esthetician.
Esthetician, thank you.
So aesthetics, why did I
Yes.
choose? So I've worked in a lot of stressful environments. And it was kind of starting to take a toll, like to where I would get just angry being there. And I'm like, I really shouldn't be here if I'm getting this mad working here. And I'm like, I really just would like to be in a relaxed environment, an environment that I can set at my own pace. And then one of my friends actually started doing aesthetics, and I was like, what is this? What are you doing? And what can I do for me to do it? So she told me, she walked me through it. She is a lash tech now. She does eyelashes, and she does some facials and stuff, but she more or less, her work is around eyelash extensions. And she told me, she's like, I really hope that you get into eyelash extensions too, just because I'm so booked. Like I'm booked out months in advance to where people can't get in So like if you do eyelash extensions, I could refer them to you. So it's kind of like a partner based what's the word, business,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
profession. You know, if you can refer someone else, like, hey, I'm really sorry, I know you want to get in, I can't get you in, but I know someone who probably could, you know, that sort of thing. So we kind of help each other out.
And that'll be like a question that I used to get at Simtastic when I was busy on a day that this person was like, "Hey, my wedding's on this day." I'm like, "Sorry, I've already got one this day." They're like,
Right.
"Oh, do you know someone else? Can you recommend anyone else?"
Right.
We never recommend anybody.
Well, of course not. You're like,
No.
we have
No.
time, we have room, we can fit you in.
Yeah, so buy more stuff, guys. What were you gonna say, producer Tabitha?
Definitely. We have a lot of members, so it's very rarely that we don't have a day booked 100%.
So here, and the reason why we don't recommend anyone is because we just don't have that much. There's only like maybe a couple photographers that we can actually recommend. And
I don't
even
think we know any like really good
videographers,
yeah.
absolutely not. I haven't. Well, actually, I know one girl, and the only reason I recommend people to her is because she's recommended people to us. But I'm going to talk to her soon and see if we could get her on the podcast, see if she can help us out.
Ooh,
Oh,
that'd be
cool.
fun.
And kind of get her perspective on us and our perspective on her, and maybe we could talk a little shit to each other. But anyways, no, she's we don't really recommend anybody, mainly because we don't feel like anyone's gonna give them as good as quality as ours. And honestly, in the very beginning when we first started, we were undercutting everybody super duper hard, like hard enough to where like we were getting messages and people were telling us, "Hey, you guys are fucking ruining the industry," and I was like, "Bro, you have your clients, we have our clients. You know, we'll charge what we want, and if they really want to pay for you, then they'll pay for you." So obviously, we were good enough to where we could have charged whatever that they were charging, right? To where the other people were charging, but we just didn't because that's where our lane was at the time. You know, now our lane is probably more on the mid or upper mid tier of photo and video because we have a lot of people that are super talented and we have people that are regularly busy as well too. It doesn't make sense for us to be on that like super affordable lane. We're still affordable by comparison to other like actual filmmakers and videographers and photographers because I know some photographers they're
Yeah, it's like $2,500 for like a highlight video.
for just a highlight video, it's like $2,500 for a well-known photographer, like some of the ones in the area right now, $3,000 for 8
wow.
hours. Yeah, where you can get us for a bargain at like $2,000.
Right.
You know, and we offer just so much more at that point. My key was always to offer as much value as possible, which is why we do things the way we do, you know. In your case, though, I kind of wanted to walk through that marketing strategy for you because I wanted to know, like you said, you were going to be in LaPorte in Michigan City, right?
I'll be in Michigan City. It'll be at my home.
I thought you lived in LaPorte.
No, I live here in Michigan City.
Oh shit, my bad.
That's why it only takes me 10 minutes to get to your house.
Well, LaPorte's not that far away either, but
It's a 20-minute drive.
I swear to God, Crystal probably told me LaPorte, and you're probably like on the outskirts of Michigan City or something
Yeah,
like that.
I'm more towards Westville.
Oh,
but
okay. So-
like right after the bridge.
Okay, so all right, that makes sense because Crystal said LaPorte. So, anyways, so by nature, Michigan City, LaPorte area, just this general area altogether, I would like to say it's not a very high income area. And what you're talking about is stuff that people, with, especially women, with expendable income actually have or actually do.
So I'm going to stop you there because you'd be surprised at how Michigan City actually is. It's
Sure.
it's high.
I've only been here for a year, so
So Michigan City is a high traffic area. They have
Sure.
a lot of people that come from Chicago.
You're right, they do.
Yeah.
So
But they're only here for the season.
they're only here for the season, but there are people that still come out here because of the Blue Chip. Now, say Blue Chip does have a spa. My packages are a lot cheaper than Blue Chip.
Yeah, but when you have something I'm only making this comparative because I just want to see if you're able to combat this as well too, contest it as well. Like Blue Chip is also the Blue Chip. They're not
Yeah.
they have real, I'm not saying you're not a real professional, but they
Yeah.
have professionals with years or even decades of experience to where they can get people in and out. And they're also giving an experience as well too.
Right.
They're not going to some lady's house and their kids are crying in the background.
Oh no!
You know what I'm saying?
So I'll be in a different area. My kids are not anywhere near that. You wouldn't be able to hear my kids.
But even that, like worst case scenario,
Yeah.
right? You know, they're going to have an experience. And I've been to a spa before. Have you ever been to a spa before, Sam?
Yeah, I've been to a spa.
So the reason we go to spas is because you have an experience there.
Yes.
And that's what they pay the $160 for. The
Lots of pretty girls
$200.
touching me. I like it.
No, it's more of
No happy endings here.
me. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. We're officially cutting this off. I pay for an experience when I go to the spa. I pay
Yes.
for the lighting. I pay for the cucumbers on my eyes. I pay for all that shit, right? And I'm okay with that because I know I'm getting that experience.
Right.
So I'm trying to see when someone's coming from Chicago, when they're used to spending $160, maybe even more than $160, you know, if they're spending $200 plus on an experience, you know, do you feel like you'll have a lot of trickle over for the people that just need to get it done? Because here, if you're basing the people that are natively to Michigan City, it's a very, very, very small percentage.
Yeah.
And those particular people in Michigan City, especially in the areas that we live in, because I live closer to civilization, I guess, than you do. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're just right over the bridge. Once you go over the bridge, it's very open. It's very country. It's very rustic. It's very, like, long-ass driveways and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to that downtown area, like, I don't know what incentives like Michigan City has to offer you other than the crowd coming from Chicago from June till October.
Right.
You know, and if that's the only time you're going to be operable at that point, then I guess that kind of makes sense. But I would have to say that you have to give people of that caliber an experience, because people who make $150,000, $200,000, $300,000, they rather pay for an experience. I don't want to pay for going to someone's house, me
Right.
personally, even if it cost $60.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel?
So with me starting out, so I know I'm gonna face those challenges. So right now, and a lot of clients will be word of mouth.
Sure.
Just at first,
Do you know a lot of people in Chicago?
So I don't know a lot of people in Chicago.
Okay.
But a big advantage that I have over a lot of other people is that I work for 505 Media and I'm around a lot of brides. And
Hey, you look great, but you would look even better with a couple of my services.
right.
So,
So
are we talking a collab here?
I mean, we could, but when I'm working day of coordinating, I build those relationships with brides. A lot of brides maybe. So is 505 Media your only income, or what else do you do? And I'll let them know I am an esthetician. I do facials. I do body sculpting. They're like, what? You know. I feel like I would have an advantage over other people through 505.
Is that allowed? Can we do that?
I mean, I don't see why not. It's
contract
not
anywhere.
It's not photography.
No, you're
it's
right.
not videography. You
You're
know,
right.
it would
And
just be a
I've
different
even-
service.
I've even talked to Crystal because I wanted. We're back after Sam was dying. No, hang on. Let's put the chapstick in. There we go.
Do it.
There you go. Anyways, no, I totally get where you're coming from. I totally get that it's going to be word of mouth, you know. And honestly, word of mouth is the slowest
Yes.
possible growth you can absolutely imagine. And I'm just preparing you for that. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to shit on it or anything, but
No,
I'm
I'm-
preparing you for that. Because we didn't do word of mouth at all.
Right.
I had to go knock on doors. I had to go essentially knock. I'm not fucking knocking on random people's doors.
Like sticking
You know.
flyers in their mailbox.
We did that once, and that was just a waste of money too.
Yeah.
You know, but we did go after clients. You know, we literally on social media, when we saw someone that was tagged in there, we immediately were like, hey, whatever they're doing it for, we'll do it for half off.
Right.
If they did it for $600, then guess what? We're doing it for $300 now. You know?
Yeah.
It sucked sometimes. It really did. But that's what we had
They
to
got it
do.
out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a little different because we have, go ahead, producer Tabitha.
Oh no, it's okay. When I first heard of what she was doing, I thought you would. One of the first things I always go to is Groupon.
Groupon?
Groupon?
Yeah.
I could see Groupon.
Totally like for people that are budget in around Michigan City, like, I would love to do this one day, and then you search on Groupon, and you know, it's just.
I guess
some needs.
all in all is that my personal opinion and professional opinion is that if you're looking to do something in Michigan City, more Michigan City, then you're gonna have to wait for the people that can afford to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is why my prices are a lot lower
Yeah.
than what because there's a price.
Honestly, I wouldn't even change the prices.
Yeah.
I would keep them where it's at.
Well, that's when-
Because
yeah.
if trust me, if you're looking to do this in Chicago, how much does it typically cost in Chicago? $250, $300
Well,
bucks?
like I told her, for body sculpting alone, just for one area, say like the stomach, it's
Mm-hmm.
175
in Chicago?
in Chicago.
Okay.
How big is an area? Is this like a couple
So
inches?
so like your arms, it could be your arms, it could be your stomach, it could be your butt. Because
Butt lift.
you can do BBLs
handles?
with this love handles. So
Ooh, love handles into this.
you can do BBLs. It's a temporary BBL, but it lasts months. So instead of doing an invasive surgery that people are flying down to Mexico to get and then flying back,
But here, we did this too because Crystal wanted to get a breast reduction as
Yeah.
well too, because obviously that gives her back issues
Yeah.
as well too. You know, with a lot of women with large breasts or you know big boobs or whatever, you know that has been like a notorious thing forever, and just clothes, bras, etc.
Yeah.
Like I've gone through this with her, and sometimes like I got her to the point where she was in tears, to where like she wasn't happy with the outfit that she was wearing because of her boobs, you know, even though us as men probably, yes, boobs, you know what I'm saying? We love
Neuron
it.
activation.
Exactly, you know, but it's hard. And just because the reason people go to Mexico to do it, not only is it more expensive, but in some cases we actually researched, it's actually not only more affordable, but it's even more high tech than
Yeah.
out here in the U.S.
Oh, that makes sense. If it's
Because
something that's commonly
when we
practiced,
were gonna do that, we were gonna do it in Cancun. We were gonna get her a breast reduction and a tummy tuck or whatever, and it was gonna cost us like $7,000.
yeah, which is actually pretty cheap compared to up
And
here.
this guy was like, we Googled him, we got on a consultation with him, and everything. And this dude was legit. He was like one of the best plastic surgeons in Cancun. And then the best plastic surgeon up here is like $30,000 or some bullshit like that. It was ridiculous. So to say that it's just because they're going to Mexico, okay, cool. We'll go to Mexico. We'll go to a spa. We'll get this. We'll get that. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Done. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, go ahead.
Where were we at?
No, it's Chicago.
Women
Daddy,
are
where we at?
I was like,
It's BBLs.
BBLs.
yeah.
It's
So
really
like,
going.
so that's BBLs
Or safer,
is an
safer.
area so since it's temporary, it's not invasive at all. We're not cutting, we're not implanting. We're literally, it's vacuum therapy where we put cups on each butt cheek and it just vacuums. It sucks.
That's so interesting.
So it plumps it for like a few months, and as long as you keep up on like the treatment,
The schedules, yeah.
yeah, like
It'll stay there.
It'll stay there.
Is that like a Kim Kardashian thing, or does she just go full out implants and stuff like that?
I'm pretty sure hers are implanted.
Okay. Well,
I mean, she can afford it. I mean, more.
She's a billionaire, so she
Yeah.
can do whatever she wants. But I mean, I would assume that because not only because you're a billionaire, but if you're that wealthy and you're able to do like even better sculpting, because I'm assuming there's levels to this shit. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
there
saying? Like I'm assuming there's like a marble fucking rolling pin that they use.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because it's easier on the skin, or if there's a textured one because it actually exfoliates while they do that. I don't know. I'm just making
Yeah.
it up at that
So
point.
So
Sterling
I
silver.
won't be offering wood therapy yet, but
Oh.
what wood therapy does would help in like cellulite. So cellulite is a big
You see,
problem.
I'm saying shit, and I don't even know if it's real, and there's actually real stuff to that.
Yeah,
So
so they are textured. It can be a painful method, but what it does, it's like rolling pin method, and it breaks down the fat pockets in the cellulite.
It's so crazy. It's so
right?
amazing what we're able to do now. You know, can you imagine like
Yeah,
50, like
200 years ago, this would have been witchcraft.
yeah,
Would've
you,
burned.
you
Right.
Yeah.
no.
Well, can I say my name for my company
Yeah,
name?
go for it.
So it's actually Skin Mage Studios.
Oh, she's a witch.
So
Skin mage.
I'll be working my magic.
That's clever. So okay. Anyways, let's skin mage like a
Skin
mage.
like a mage.
You know what a mage is?
No,
It's
that's
a
It's
wizard.
like a magician.
mage is a
why
wizard.
I'm
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah,
Skin
She
mage.
never played D&D.
no.
Well, she never watched Harry Potter.
No, she did watch
Those
Harry
are
Potter.
witches and wizards.
Okay, but they're mages though.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's another word for a witch or a wizard is a mage, someone who practices magic.
Yep.
Right? Is that what it is? Am I wrong
I've
here?
never heard of that word. All right, now I
Is your mic on?
educated.
Because I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
It's
thank
gotta
you.
be
I said
closer.
now I'd never heard that word. I'm educated.
Okay.
No, we're
that's my biggest concern is that what are your 5-year goals then? Because obviously you have to take this in phases. There's no way unless you have a really awesome boyfriend and he's willing to just throw money at it. Then
So I don't feel that he would have to throw money at it.
or if you want to
yeah.
throw money at it, whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
it'll be my money to throw at it.
It's
Yeah.
everybody's money.
It's everybody's money.
So
Yeah.
no, again,
So-
it's just one of those things that you have to like really like even just this fucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like when we did our first one, we had a paper fucking background on
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? And we literally had to. And I was like, okay, this looks like trash. I don't want it. It didn't look bad,
it
but
looked good for what we had.
it looked good for what we had.
This
But
looks so much better.
it looks
It looks
way
nice,
better.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of person that I need to throw in as like if I'm gonna fucking do something, I'm gonna do it to the point where it at least looks good. You know?
Yeah.
Because we can tweak, the microphones. We can tweak the cameras. We can tweak the recorders. I can tweak Sam. You know what I'm saying? For him to
Do you
know.
want to tweak Sam?
well, we had to. I told him to start talking more, and then now he is.
Hi.
Because I couldn't carry the conversation all by myself. And it's like,
You're
bro,
doing a good job.
I know, but you have to chime in, or else what's the point of having a co-host? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
He's
So-
the comedic relief.
That's right. I got those bangers every time.
I will say that he is more of the comedic relief, and I'm just kind of more of like, what was that?
My position was with my family too. Anytime there was
You're
like a
the comedic-
stressful day, I'd be like,
You're the awkward comedic relief.
"Yeah, but how about that food on airplanes? Like, what's up with that?"
Shout out Jerry Seinfeld. No, so that's kind of my question to you is like, where do you see yourself in the immediate future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years with it? Because I think 5 years is a very realistic time frame for
Yeah.
an esthetician because unless you have, because I'll be honest, I've met estheticians, I've met makeup artists before, I've met all those other girls as well too, and 9 times out of 10, the ones that are doing very, very, very well, their husbands throw a shit ton of money at it, get them a store, they get them this, they get them
Right.
that, or they're very, 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 very popular, or they were very popular in high school to the point, just those people that
Yeah.
have the retention to keep people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I was never fucking cool in high school.
No,
You were
I'm
never
not-
fucking cool
yeah.
in high school, and you
I
were.
didn't go to high school.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
I was the coolest person
No,
in my school.
I had a lot of friends, but a lot of them fell out after high
Yeah, me
school.
too.
And
What about you, Tabitha? Do you have a lot of friends?
Oh no.
She was lame too. So,
she was like,
One of mine became a drug dealer, and he never reconnected.
oh.
Where you at, Alex?
Anyways, go ahead.
So like I don't feel like I fit in at my school either. I'm just a loner.
Yeah.
So I know like friend. So word of mouth might be a little more difficult for me. But like I said, I work with 505 Media, so I could
I know.
advertise that way.
I consider
yeah.
now that touching back on that topic, I actually was talking to Crystal before even you came along. How
Yeah.
I want to have my own DJ because all DJs suck essentially, except for 27 Entertainment. Shout out 27
Yeah, these
Entertainment.
guys are awesome.
I want to have my own. Probably not a florist. I was thinking about florist, but maybe not. I don't know. Crystal mentioned limos yesterday. Oh no, it was it you, right?
It was us that.
You guys mentioned limos,
Yeah,
and
that was
honestly, I
was like 505 Media.
I can consider limos.
What did
Yeah.
What did you call it?
I said, Tabby, look at that limo. It's so big. And it was like a Hummer limo, and it was like 25 feet long. She's like, it's not that big. I'm like, do you have a bigger limo?
And then I was like, wait for 505 limos. And then you
Jesus
said
Christ.
505 Drive.
That's what you said. Yeah, 505
Yeah.
Drive.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I can conceivably see limos or a party bus or something like that, but then the insurance and liabilities and all that stuff
Right.
gets super crazy. But even then, I think it's a very good, because that can be used for anything. I mean, if fucking could do that, then I know I can do it, anyways.
I really did choke. I'm sorry.
What's the joke? Oh, does everybody know my hatred? Is that why everybody's laughing or something, or what? No, anyways, so I know if other people can do that and we have an established client base already to where they're already picking different shit from us, then I know a limo would probably be like, boom, done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if we kept it local into the region as well, and then I was thinking, man, I want my own hair and my own makeup girl. Because how cool would it be if the fucking squad rolled up, hair, makeup, photo, video, all in one day of coordinator, all in one fucking spot. In the morning, boom. How dope would that be?
Right.
We already talked to these girls from the time that they book us before they even book hair and makeup.
Yeah.
They're usually booking hair and makeup like 2 weeks before. Or most girls, some girls do, I guess. But how dope would that be? And then I was like, okay, well, I want to interview someone because I don't know shit about hair and makeup. I don't know what they make. I don't know what they charge. I don't know about this. I don't know anything. But at the very least, I want to just at least put my name on it. I want to put the brand on it because I don't need to make money off of it.
Right.
I just want to put the brand on it so that way we get even more exposure. Because if the girl goes to do their hair and makeup first, to book their hair and makeup first, oh, great. We also offer photo and video packages. It's just a way for us to plug that in every single fucking time.
Right.
So I don't know if that's technically something that I can do with you because technically you're more of a spa experience.
Yeah. So that was my main goal.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a makeup girl. That was one of the things
Honestly,
that I talked to.
if you were a makeup girl, I would probably just hire you right now. And then just build, because I literally, sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're good.
I wanted to build like a little hair studio here with sinks and super awesome looking and lights and all that kind of shit.
Day
Yeah.
of spa treatment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not a day of spa treatment, but like
Day before spa
day
treatment?
before maybe.
Right.
Like if we ever have our own venue, because the venue that we're looking at has a house on it, and it's an Airbnb, and maybe they could book that service while they're staying at the Airbnb. How dope would that be?
Yeah, that
You know
would
what
be
I'm saying?
nice.
And then all you have to do is just show up.
Right.
No equipment needed. You just bring whatever your rolling pins or I don't know, whatever you need.
I don't have those.
You need to get them. You don't need those?
I mean, it's a continued education.
Oh.
So I would have to take a class for wood therapy.
So,
but yeah, so I could get into wood therapy.
Why do you need a class for it? You can't just start doing it?
Well, it has to do with the lymphatic system, and that's a whole new.
Are the lymph nodes affected by different kinds of wood? Or
I guess that I would learn that in wood therapy class.
I'm asking the big questions today.
That's a little out of my scope of practice.
I'll have to Google that later. Hickory works remarkably well.
It leaves an oaky flavor afterwards. No, because I don't know if I could do that with you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just haven't explored the possibilities for it.
So like I am big in doing makeup on myself. And when I started doing makeup on people, I really got into the Halloween makeup.
Sure.
Over
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, over like bridal makeup. Then we started getting into bridal makeup. I hated it.
Why?
Just because like you have to match their skin color. I can't even match my own skin color, let alone someone else's. So there's a lot of chemistry involved in it, and I just can't stand chemistry.
But isn't it crazy to see
So-
some like I've seen some good makeup artists over the past few
And
years.
I know
These girls are,
a
like, good as fuck. You
I know a great makeup artist. I went to school with her, and that's what she did. She works at Ulta, and she does a great job,
nice.
though. She does a great job. She's not a makeup artist for Ulta. Like, she does her own thing.
She's like a consult where they like help pick out shit.
Yeah, but she's actually a representative for Chanel. Ooh, yeah. She
I
does.
was
She does
woken
great
up in that
work.
color.
She does really great work, and
I
just
think I need to find someone. Not saying that you're not it, but
Yeah.
like I need to find someone in that space that tried it on their own,
yeah.
but didn't have the funding or didn't have the, you know, they got tied up with everything else and they didn't get a chance to do the makeup too much. You know, I love finding people like that. I do. You know, I love finding people that are down and out on their luck and, hey, man,
Right.
let's go. Let's do this. Let's record video. Let's take photos. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, honestly, I'm surprised with some of the people that I even have on my team. Like Casey. Casey's fucking amazing.
Casey's awesome.
I'm surprised he even works for us at this point, you know? and obviously he does a couple other things. He does like his computer website building and shit like that, you know? But there's a lot of things that, you know, he's just such a good photographer in certain cases that, like, I'm surprised. But then I'm not surprised because then I see, you know, then I get to know you guys. And then I get to see exactly, okay, that makes sense, you know? But not trying to be mean or anything like that, but that makes sense. You know, some certain people with certain characteristics and certain traits and certain habits and stuff like that, it just makes sense, you know? On wrapping up with the esthetician and starting your own business. I love the idea of you starting your own business. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a process.
Yes.
Because anyone starting a business in Northwest Indiana is, I don't want to say doomed to fail,
Yeah.
but it's very, very, very hard. Unless you come at it with like 2 bags full of money, then that's really the only way you can get it going
It's just
right
getting
away.
out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I have to offer a few free sessions, like I'm more than
You're going to be offering free sessions for the first year.
Well, the thing is that I think a big obstacle of mine, I'm not going to be open Monday through Friday.
Oh.
Because right now it's just going to be Monday through Wednesday, so 3 days out of the week. Because with Dave coordinating, a lot of
Let's jump into
rehearsals are on Thursdays.
Let's jump into that. Let's just jump into what you do for 505. So you do day of coordinating.
Yes.
You do rentals.
Yes.
You were gonna do photography, but you're scaling back on that, which is fine. No big deal. Day of coordinating. If I'm not mistaken, at the very beginning, I think you had maybe a little bit of trouble with it, or were just like nervous with it.
I think I was nervous with it. Just I didn't know what to expect, and
Have you been married before?
no.
No. Okay.
Nope, I've never been married. So
So I'm just recanting the last episode, and I was
With
like,
Amanda.
Who's got the most marriage experiences?
I've got none. I'm a little backwards. I had the kids first.
It's whatever. You can have them whenever. You don't
Yeah.
have to be married to have kids. Marriage
Yeah.
is just a stupid document that you have to sign so you could pay less taxes
Right.
or,
Well,
or
I mean,
share taxes.
Marriage is a big step, and I don't feel like I had been with anyone that I really wanted to be married to up until now. Adam and I have been together 3 years now.
That's awesome.
We just celebrated a 3-year anniversary.
What'd you guys do? What'd you guys do for your anniversary?
So we celebrated yesterday. We had dinner, and
Where at?
we just went to Olive Garden.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Nice.
just went to Olive Garden, and then we went to see Uncharted.
oh.
That movie was
it good?
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
It was so
With
good.
Tom Holland and Marky Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Marky Mark.
And then we just hung out with each other. We had game night at home.
Hey, man. Can't ask,
Margaritas.
you can't
It was
ask anything
nice.
more than that.
Yeah,
If
it was
that's
awesome.
a celebration, for an anniversary, that's a decent one, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good one right there. But
My son was at his dad's, and my daughter was with my mom, so
There
we
you go.
had the night to ourselves.
that's
It was great.
freaking dope. I
Yep.
love to be able to do that every once in a while, where it's just like I don't have to work, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. I can just spend time with Crystal and just have a day.
Right.
But let's get back on track here
Yeah,
to the
sorry.
day of court. No, that was my fault. Let's get back on track to the day of coordinating, because we interviewed Amanda, and she's the head of day of coordinating, head of event planning, all that kind of shit, And in your case, you do the day of coordinating as well too,
Yes.
but not to the level that she does.
No. So she is a wedding planner. That's her expertise.
Sure.
Me, when I first got into it, I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
I've been friends with Crystal for 7 years. So when I saw that position pop up, I'm like, hey, I wouldn't mind getting involved. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, I just threw it out there like, hey, I would love to see what that's all about. and I did, and I fell in love with it.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
Because I've always loved weddings. I always said that I never got invited to enough, and now I'm there all the time. You know?
I've never been to that many weddings myself.
Yeah.
I think up until my wedding, I've never been to one. Oh, I lied. I've been to one. Just kidding. I was at one wedding before I actually had my wedding, and then that failed. So, so no, it's nice that you got used to it. Nowadays, though, how are you doing with it now? Because I obviously don't interact with Crystal on the day of court. That's not my thing. My thing is managing all my content creators and all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And making sure the photos and the videos look good and they, you know, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing on that end.
Right.
So I have no knowledge really other than approving a price or yes or no or this, that, you know. I have no knowledge of what you personally will be doing, you know?
Right. So Crystal still helps me, but the last time that we had a Q&A, which I forgot about, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to have to reschedule. And she's like, well, call him real quick. And then I was like, you know what? I took the reins and I was like, I'm just going to do it. You know, I did it all on my own. She wasn't there to prompt me through it all. And it turned out really good because she actually contacted the bride recently and she's like, oh my God, Kyrie, they loved you. And I'm like, oh, cool. You know, because it was
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, my ear was itchy and my headphones fell off.
but
It's the shit that we gotta deal with. You
no,
know?
you're good. You're good. But it was really cool that I'm like, yeah, I did it. You know, so it made me. It gave me.
This was recently?
It gave me confidence.
I think
you
that's
know?
99.99999% of the wedding industry is that you have to have confidence.
Yeah.
You got to. There's no way you can be super duper shy and succeed in this business. Like literally, you have to put yourself out there and you have to talk to people and be able to communicate with them. Hey, don't release the fucking doves right before you kiss. Release the doves after you kiss.
Right.
Or some shit like that. I don't know. We haven't had doves yet at a wedding, but that'd be sick. I've had butterflies, but not doves, which was pretty dope,
Dude,
actually.
I would be more impressed with butterflies.
It was actually super sick. They all released butterflies at the same time. They ordered a bunch of monarch butterflies because I guess you can order those in mass quantities, I guess. I don't know.
You can freeze them and then.
Oh, yeah, and they'll just come alive.
Yeah,
I
they
forgot about that.
unthaw. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
Anyways, so I think that being able to have the confidence to just ask, hey, what time, Sam, do you want to have your first kiss? Is there a particular moment or what time are you having your ceremony?
It's a very personal question.
Or
Can my wife be there?
Or what time do you want to have dinner?
We all just casually look at Tabby.
What time do you want to start your first dance? What time is this going to happen? And literally, you're just verifying what. And I think that's probably why it could be a little on the intimidating side because you don't know what they're going to say.
I don't know what to expect. And like, I'm still asking questions to this day. Crystal will be like, oh, did you, so since we're also doing the photography for that, you have to ask this question and that question. I'm like, oh crap. I got to go in and I got to ask this question and that question.
And it's very, you just have to do enough of them, I think. I think once you do enough of them, you'll be able to really be on point with the questions and follow-up questions.
This one is the actual second one that I've actually made a timeline for.
Yeah.
The other ones, I just was assisting and kind of shadowing Crystal. And then the last one I made the actual timeline for, and this one I kind of pretty much took the lead.
And the thing is, too, is if we're there, you can fuck up a little bit and we'll be able to handle it. You know what I'm saying? It's not crucial. Like if we're not there and you're the day of coordinator and you fuck up the timeline, then that's a problem because now you have another photographer, another videographer, and all these other vendors, et cetera, that are mad at you because you are because you messed up the timeline.
Right.
But if it's us, if it's me there, if it's Sam there, if it's Tabitha there, if it's someone else from our team
bit of a
there,
safety net.
there's a huge safety net right there because we will adjust accordingly. So
Right.
it for us when you're there, like I tell people, I don't typically need a timeline personally.
Right.
You know, Sam, do you need a timeline personally?
No, not anymore.
Tabitha, you will probably need a timeline still, right?
Excuse me.
Well, I don't know. Do you think you need a timeline?
No.
No. So
No,
most
if
of
you verbally, as long as I get a verbal timeline to know where to put the lights, I'm Gucci.
Now, if you want us to get like Aunt Juanita's dance that she specifically designed for you guys, at 10:30 p.m., an hour after we're supposed to leave, then yes, we need to know about that.
That
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, we need to know about. But we don't we can handle hair, makeup, ceremony, even
Right.
even the dances at that point. But if it's very, 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 very specific things, then yes, we just need to know that shit. But other than that, though, if it's us, you have a huge safety net. Because
Yeah.
we will be able to adapt and control all the situation there. And even help out on occasion as well too.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what else? Rentals, right?
Yeah, rentals. I finally got to do a rental.
How was that? I was there for a little bit.
Yeah. I actually really
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Oh, there you go.
I've never been to a Hispanic wedding, and I was
that's a
blown.
fun one.
I was blown out of the park. So I was expecting the mariachi band. What I did
They
not
did.
what I did not expect was the marching band
Oh, the
to
banda?
do
Yeah.
open dance.
Ooh.
That my mind exploded. It was loud. I got out my phone. I'm like, I'm a guest, so I'm recording it. Like, I had so much fun at that wedding.
Dude,
and
Hispanic
then,
parties are off the hook.
yeah,
I
but
think that was the first time we did the photo booth.
yes,
And
there's a lot of trial and error.
trial and error, but for the most part, I think it was a success. I think
was.
They were happy with it.
Yeah.
The way we do our photo booths is we are now doing two ways. We can either do it with the big inflatable that has lights in it and shit like that, and then we also have an IV wall, which
Right.
is currently still being under construction, mainly because I haven't done it yet. But but we're gonna
We'll be doing it soon.
Yeah, because I think it's coming up here soon. So we have that. There's two ways, and then there's also two ways that they can get their photos. They can either do the QR code or they can get actual printables.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So the printables, that's the one you did last time.
Yes, I did
How
a
was
printable.
that process?
So it wasn't bad until the printer started freezing because the flow of people it was just a lot. I wasn't expecting it to be the way that it was, like so many people like in a line just keep coming in, and so what it would do, it would just freeze, and then I'd have to unplug it, then plug it back in, but then it would restart. But towards the end of the day, I eventually had to shut down the photo booth for 15 minutes
Yeah.
and allowed the printer to catch back up, and then I reopened it for the last 15 minutes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you have a plan. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like the biggest thing. If you have a plan and are able to navigate the people, because people
Yeah.
get it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, these are little quick printers that take what, a minute for them to print out?
This one was 15 minutes behind.
No. But if I were to go in it,
Yeah.
right? And if I took a photo, it takes 60 seconds for it to print out.
Yeah.
But the problem is that those printers don't have enough RAM on them. I think that's what you
Yeah,
suggested
'cause I
last
used
time.
to work on printers a lot. It's a RAM storage, and if you oversee that capacity in a lot of miles, it'll just make it act weird. And
Yeah,
sometimes it will shut down.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't print anymore at that point,
Right.
And I don't know what to do for that. I think it's mainly just a control of flow.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so they actually have photo booth printers.
Yeah, and those ones print a lot.
But those are huge, though.
They're expensive.
No, they're just huge. They're not expensive. They're huge.
Yeah.
And my goal was to be light and mobile.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to carry a giant fucking computer inside the place.
Well,
you know?
yeah. I mean, if that's a route that we have to go, I wouldn't mind doing it in order to keep up with the flow of
Keep
people.
up with the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Just because I wouldn't want to shut down or have them miss out on time that they paid for.
Yes,
I
you're
even
right.
was thinking about staying over a little 15
you know
minutes.
What?
That way
I
we would have the full hour.
I think it's the kids. The kids are the ones that make it go haywire because then they just see it as a toy.
There was only 3 kids that were there that were in the booth,
Sure.
and they were a part of the wedding party.
Because I've seen some weddings where the adults do the photo booth. Yes, there's that long line.
Yeah.
But then there's no one there for maybe 10 minutes or 15
Right.
minutes. And then oh, they're drunk enough now. Now they come back and they do it again,
Yeah.
So I think mainly it could be the kid. And there was one girl there. And the way they didn't do printouts like we did. They just did QR codes.
Right.
And if we do QR codes, boom, just fucking scan the QR code and get
Right.
your picture right away. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So it's just one of those things that
A lot of people like the keepsake, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I like it too. I told Crystal that because Crystal was a huge advocate for just the QR code. I was like, no, we should have prints because when I do a photo booth, I've never done a photo booth, but when I want to do a photo booth, I want something to take home with me.
Right.
We should get another printer. That way,
You think so?
we can do the overflow onto that other printer.
I don't know if
both
that's
kick it
technically
off.
possible.
It probably is.
I think
Might
we
be.
might just need to get like the bigger printer. Like
I
you
think
said.
you should invest. I have no problem with carrying the big printer. I like when I showed up there, I didn't need Crystal to unload the car. I didn't need Crystal to load the car back up.
Sure.
Yeah, I was tired. I was tired by the end of the night,
Yeah,
but
but
I didn't mind it.
But think about it. It's not like you're laying bricks or anything. It's just you're standing up and telling people, like,
Oh,
"Hey,
yeah.
man, get ready."
Yeah. And
Or-
if we have a printer that actually keeps up with the flow,
Yeah.
like it would make things go a lot
I
easier.
think because now we've changed the package to where you offer QR codes and prints, and I think most people would want to save the money and just do the QR code.
That yeah,
And
Yeah.
that way you don't have to worry about prints at all.
right.
That
would be easier.
Comment
now
down
what-
below. Would you
Comment
rather
down- yeah.
prints or QR codes?
Do you guys prefer prints or do you prefer QR codes? I know a lot of people. Everybody's got their fucking cell phone on them, so
Yeah.
why not just fucking scan it and have it forever and ever and ever too?
Right. Post it on social media.
Because the couple can still get a file of all the photos.
Mm-hmm.
It saves them, and then we just send them the file, and that's it. So, but anyways, what else? What else are you renting out for us?
The marquee sign.
Have you done that one
I
already?
have not done that yet.
I heard
The only rental that I have done
Is the photo booth?
Is the photo booth.
I hear the marquee. Well, I know the marquee because it's a pain in the fucking ass just to carry.
So big.
It's so big. This thing's literally like longer than this fucking table, and
We had
this
to get a van specifically for the
I know.
marquee.
we literally
I got
just
that message from Crystal.
We got the 505 van,
Yes.
and that was pretty cool. I think it was a very well invested dime. Now you don't have to drive your personal vehicle. Now you could just drive the van. It pulls to the right. It pulls to the left. So you just kind of have to like, you've driven a shitty car before,
I've
right?
driven a shitty car.
Okay, so there you go. This isn't. Hey, we're not getting like a town or what's a good minivan nowadays?
Oh God.
I don't
Is
know.
that even is that even a
Something
thing? As a
Chrysler.
good minivan?
Here, we were with Kevin on the weekend, or I was with Kevin on Friday and bought him a car, and he was shitting on minivans. And then he went to go look in that minivan. I was like, bro, that thing's fucking nice. I should buy a minivan. And I was like, Kevin,
That was like my first 3 cars were minivans.
It's
Yeah.
the soccer
Yeah.
mom.
Same one too, Chris.
he
It's on the country.
loves minivans. Tabitha can.
They worked for
all
me
about
pretty well,
vans
yeah.
as well too, if I'm
Yeah,
not
they
mistaken.
had great gas mileage. I would like buy one in a heartbeat. It's just the gas. The moment I have one kid, I'm having a van. Like, one kid. Oh, there's the van.
You look.
Right.
Hey,
I don't need more than that.
Here is my car sales thing, because it seems like whenever we talk about shit, like I was like, okay, now car sales with Robert has to come out. You do not need a van for one fucking kid.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
That's
I
room
do.
for more.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely.
You do not
I'm-
need
yep.
a van for one kid. Well, what about other friends? What about their friends? By the time they're old enough to
I will
That's
have
fine.
one car and
By
I
the
will have
time-
one van.
by the time they have friends, you would have fucking used
Nope.
up the van already.
Nope.
And you got to get rid of it. There's no need to have a van for at least the first 5 to 6 years of the kid's
No,
life.
maybe 2. I'll do 2 and wait.
Even 2.
No.
You do not need a van for 2 children.
But what about sports, Robert?
And then
You were-
you also
what
have to
sports
think
can
if-
they play at 5 years old?
If you're taking
What
Soccer?
sports can a 5-year-old play?
T-ball?
T-ball? The bat is this big. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Well, then you got to take the team out for ice cream.
Yeah, you gotta
Do you
go
have a
for
van?
pizza, ice cream.
Listen, no,
have
she does not
vans?
have. She has a large
I have an
SUV.
SUV.
She has a large
Okay,
SUV.
you have a large SUV.
Yes.
Could you imagine going grocery shopping with you and your husband and one kid in the back seat?
Trust me,
Oh my
Sam.
God.
You have very
Oh,
little
yeah.
space.
I have a sedan too, and it's horrible.
Where the fuck are you gonna put Sam? In the front seat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, or he's driving.
And then you
so
have a
that
kid in
means
the
that
back
all that space in the back is not
But
being
for a
used.
tiny
You don't
car.
buy groceries though. There's so little space in cars.
Yeah.
Listen,
There's
I've
delivery
bought.
now.
Listen, exactly.
And they use vans.
So listen, there's no way that a person of 1 or 2 children could need a van. Now, an SUV, I get.
I'd probably still keep a sedan with one kid.
Yes, you should. No one should be. My brother did the fucking dumbest thing in the world. Like, and I sold him a car, obviously, because I needed to sell a car. But at the same time, I was like, bro, you don't need a van. I had completely told him, well, not a van. He wanted an SUV.
Yeah.
He got his first kid, and this is all new parents. Oh my God, I need to buy a van. Oh, I gotta get an SUV. Oh, I gotta get this. I gotta get that. I gotta baby-proof the house. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, you don't need to do any of that shit. Just let the kid be a kid. Like, the kid can't move. For the first year,
All right,
the
if
kid
you have
cannot
a kid,
move.
You can judge.
I can judge now.
No, you can't.
Because I literally have done this for. I've seen people make the same mistake over and over and over and over again for the past years. And guess what? They're back a year later, 2 years later, trying to trade out of that bitch, and they can't because they bought this big ass fucking SUV with no money down, or big ass van with no money down, and this blah blah blah. Well, we didn't need the van. We want the gas mileage now. It was like, well,
That's true. I
you
can
fucking
see
should have
that.
thought of that the first time.
Gas mileage.
So
I would not be buying
again,
a new one.
if you have 1 to 2 children, you probably don't need a van. An SUV maybe at 2 children because you got to
I
fit 2
love
car
an
seats.
SUV. Yeah.
But even then, if you had the kids spread apart, if you have them like maybe 5-6 years apart to where the kid is big enough to go in a booster seat now,
Unless
you
you're
can
like my mom, and she had them 7 years apart. It's
mi-
like me, 7 years. My younger
My-
one, 7 years.
it was
Second
my
younger
brother,
one.
right? 10 years later, then it's me. And then 2 years later, it was my kid brother, right? So we were all at a point where my brother was fucking sitting in the front seat by the time I was born. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh,
10-year-olds?
dude, I remember that sibling fight for the front seat.
Oh, that's a good reason to get a van.
Yeah.
The sibling rivalry.
Because
They're
he was
hitting
gonna
each
come out
other,
on
and you're
top.
screaming
Really?
from the
You
back.
want?
Don't make me come back there.
That's a good reason to get a van, so you can have the sibling
so many
rivalry.
good
No,
Or
You gotta give
you
him
know,
the childhood
Listen,
you had.
I-
Can you
a
imagine
SUV with
taking
third row
a family
seating.
vacation, not in a van?
no one goes on vacation for the first year when you have a kid.
Not with
Tabitha.
kids.
But that's what I'm saying. Even when they're like toddler age.
No one goes. That's the last play. That's the last time you want to go. No.
Not even toddler. My son.
What if
my,
you like the
My son is
camp?
6 years
You're
old.
not gonna. You're not gonna be able to camp.
My son is 6 years old. I have not gone on vacation with him yet.
Well,
You, see that this
You
is
mean
my
a-
My
hang on,
son,
need
my
hang on.
son might be
Really
a special
quick.
case.
This is
but
my problem. This is my problem with all new moms, bro. It literally drives me nuts because
What if?
yes, the what if.
What if? Yeah.
The what ifs. Like, bro, you don't even know, and you're just ask your
but you
parents.
don't know either.
But you have literally someone to ask.
That's
Yeah.
Mom, did you have a van when me and my 2 sisters or 2 brothers or 8 sisters were
my
growing
mom
up?
never owned a van.
Never owned a van.
Never owned
And
one.
did she do okay?
Yeah.
She did great.
I'm also her only child, though.
There you go.
Oh,
She
then
stopped
one-
at me and said, "I'm done."
One give birth and not
Well, there you go. See,
done.
she didn't give. She
One
didn't-
and done.
She did.
I don't want a van. We're stopping here.
Now, wagons were a thing back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Station wagons?
Station wagons were a thing. That
Oh,
now,
my
if
parents
you
had one
if
of
you
those.
got a hatchback or a station wagon or something like that, those are coming back around now. Those are pretty cool.
My
to
mom
have.
had
With the
an
wood
old.
siding.
with the wood siding. That's
Yeah.
very retro.
That's what I
My
want
mom
my
had
car
an
to be made of.
Oldsmobile.
You'd be
Like-
the more, you guys would be the most hipster parents if you guys had an old Oldsmobile with the wood paneling and
That'd
shit
be
like that.
so-
Shiplap. Ever heard of it?
That goes on wall now.
It might go on cars.
We're at 33 minutes.
All I'm saying is to finish my thought. So what? We're here.
We're
bro.
having fun.
We're having fun.
No, it's fine. I was just.
You got
letting
somewhere to
guys
be?
know. My belly
bathroom
is
again.
hungry.
Oh, you
It's
should have
mostly
fixed that. You should have fixed that earlier.
I was an hour behind.
Oh.
Time change, Tabby.
So this is my point on that. I literally have seen people make those mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. And I got to reap the benefits because they're dumb enough to keep coming back and coming back and coming back and trading in and trading out and trading in and trading out. You should not be owning a van if you have one child. You just shouldn't.
I love how he keeps looking at me.
Because literally, I will tell you if you ever have a child, Tabitha, I will tell you the way it is because I think of you as family now, and I'm like, yo, you don't need a fucking van.
She's not even gonna tell you. She's gonna show up with a van.
It's possible.
She's gonna take
Exactly
Crystal.
how
And then-
it happened.
It would be a very used car.
She's like, "We have another car to tow the dogs around."
Now
got
that's
enough
the
cars
thing. We
now.
have 5 dogs. It makes sense for us to get a van.
Oh
Yeah.
my
because we have-
gosh! It makes so much sense to get a van for dogs.
It does.
No.
But
They
I
can-
don't want a van, me
They
personally.
can
Yeah,
fit in that
I don't want a van
car.
either.
So that's the again, you don't need a van. You don't need this for one child, you know. It just doesn't make fucking sense.
we-
And to say that you're going to be the cool soccer mom, that's a lie too. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna be cool.
You're not going to be cool. And your kid's going to suck at sports, and they're not going to be good. The only reason I know that is because my brother has 5 fucking kids, and he's been trying to get them into sports, and all of them suck at sports. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the athletic gene passed that generation because I was decent at sports. My brother was decent at sports. Even my kid brother, who was fucking lame and was
was
more
good
book
at
smart. Yeah, he was more book smart. He even played sports. But now, like, I've seen these kids try to shoot a fucking free throw or kick a ball, and I'm like, yo, what happened? You guys, like, not go outside anymore or what?
My son, he was in soccer last year.
And he sucks?
And like not necessarily like he was pretty good at it, but whenever the ball would come towards him, he's like when he first began, he ran away from it. I was like, get in there, and he's like, I'm trying.
Yo, it's
Like, you
it
can't
just
run away
it's
from
so it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. And does it have to make sense to me? No, but
If it doesn't make sense, don't do it.
I didn't hear anything you said. Say it into the mic. Did you turn
Robert says if it doesn't make sense to him, just don't do it.
because I'm a very logical thinker.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinions,
Has
though,
their
Robert.
own logic.
And a lot of those opinions are illogical.
Do dogs?
Your
have to wear
opinion
seatbelts?
is wrong.
They do. They you really should have
That's what I gotta
seatbelts.
deal with every day.
You really should have seatbelts on dogs. We just ordered our harnesses with seatbelts for them. So
Aw,
yeah,
that's
you really should, because if they get into an accident, you
It's
don't want them
true.
flying through the
Yeah.
windshield and shit like that. Especially
would
an
be
85-pound,
tragic.
especially if it's in like an 85-pound dog like ours. You know, I mean that could
Is
kill
that
me.
all that Joe's weighs? It's
85?
Yeah,
I'm
you
talking about that's a lot.
You gotta put dogs down for those reasons because they slam forward and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's,
hurts
it's,
too,
internal.
but I don't know,
So-
yep, and they gotta
So
put them
we
down.
want to keep at least one SUV because that just makes it easy for the dogs to transport
the
all that
dogs.
kind of shit, you know. But for kids, bro, this thing can't move for the first maybe 2 years if you're lucky. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, man.
A 1.5-year-old.
It like barely knows how to
My
turn
daughter
a
just turned 1 and she's walking.
I'm saying,
okay,
has
that's
he
what I'm saying.
met a 1.5-year-old?
They
Like,
don't even have neck muscles.
Yeah, but they're not
yet.
going to fucking McDonald's or anything. They're just going to the kitchen maybe.
Literally today, she like right before I came,
She took her first steps?
She crawled over the
Okay.
footstool and face planted on the floor, and we have hardwood floors.
So
Yeah.
that's
Ow.
that's always not good.
Ugh.
But babies are built to like bounce off the shit. So
Yeah, it'll build up that bone density eventually.
So, again, sorry about the rant, and if you guys disagree, then you guys are dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
Leave a comment down below.
No,
Would you get a van for one child?
trust me, when I was working in the car dealerships, like I literally saw it all the time. I saw these new moms that like just had their fucking baby last week, and now they have to get a van. And I was like, why?
I just have to.
And maybe they have a hole to burn in their pocket, or maybe that's what it is too. Maybe it's just their boo is like fucking loaded, and so it's like, yeah, go get a van. I don't care, you know.
Well, mainly it's women who dream to have that big family.
It's so dumb.
So once they have that one kid, now they have like a whole bench they could fill with children.
Why would you want to do that? That sounds awful. That sounds so awful.
But honestly, like that's.
Can you imagine?
one-
Well, you can imagine because you have 3 of them. So,
Yeah.
like, you have kids that are like various ages. How old are they? What's the age gap?
So the oldest is 13.
Oh, okay. She's done. Okay.
She is my
She's
my
independent.
boyfriend's daughter. She's pretty independent.
Sure.
And then my son is 6.
Okay.
And then my daughter just turned 1.
Okay. So at 6 years old, he's probably still in the booster seat, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's a big kid or small kid?
I mean, he's pretty big, but
So he's heavy
he-
enough for a booster seat.
Yeah.
Okay. So a booster seat, Sam, just so you know.
I was in a booster seat. It's like homeschoolers put their kids in booster seats.
I never, when growing up, I never sat in a booster seat. I never sat in a booster seat. Ever. I sat in the back trunk. That's where I sat. Like, we had an SUV.
You know how
and then
many
I sat.
dads would come into the store? I used to work at Walmart and be like, "This is what I need," and I'm like, "This is what you're telling me," and they're like, "That's not it." I'm like, "Then what is it?" Because because they didn't understand what a booster seat was,
Never
and they're
said
like,
the man
"Why
wanted a
are all
booster
these
seat.
$30 differences?" I'm like, "Name brand,
There's
generic
no,
brand,
There
really
is no
expensive
reason.
brand."
There is no
Just
reason
pick
why a
one.
baby seat should cost $300. It's just a bunch of fucking plastic.
yeah.
There's no reason why it should be $300.
Yeah,
The
no.
reason it's
Well-
$300 is because they know you gotta fucking buy it, and they know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
most of
almost
them-
extortion.
Most of them
We're-
cost between 150 and 300. That's for sure.
yeah, you're waving your-
I just noticed too. I was like, I need to scoot over. Sorry.
We're looking to upgrade now because my daughter is still in like the infant carrying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you can
yeah.
put on your arm and carry through the store.
So
She's
your
getting too big for that.
Your
so.
SUV, I can understand why you would want to upgrade to something that has a little bit more room. You have the GMC Acadia, right?
Yes.
So I know this shit, right?
It's third row seating.
It is,
so
but that third row seat's pretty much useless, though.
No, we use it.
I know, but as far as fitting actual people back there, it's not very comfortable. It's not very efficient. You don't have any trunk space in the back once that third row seat is
Yeah.
up. It's not very, very good, okay? What you probably need to get, like if you're trying to stay in SUV land, you probably need to get something like a more modern GMC Acadia or the Traverse, or even
Yeah.
if you want to, I would even say a Suburban, because those things have the third row seats, but then they are huge and they have all the trunk space as
Not
well.
with the gas prices these days.
Go ahead.
No, I said oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, but here's the thing. You're not buying a Suburban, and that's the thing. Don't buy a fucking Suburban, or don't buy a van, or don't buy an SUV if you can't afford the gas.
Yeah, no.
I can afford the gas in my SUV, and I can drive it like a fucking moron, and I'm not crying about gas prices
Yeah.
because I was spending already that much when I had my Audi and I had to add premium in it.
Right.
So this isn't new to me, you know. Is it new to people that were spending $3 a gallon or $2.75 a gallon at that point in their little Corolla? Yeah, but guess what? The difference only went up like maybe $5 to $10. Are you telling me now that you can't afford an extra $5 to $10 in your gas tank anymore? Is that what it's come
For
down to?
some
I mean,
people,
mine
they're
just went up
they're so
20.
close.
I was
with
gonna
their
say
why-
it's
then
more like
why would
$20,
you-
Yeah,
$30.
I'm sorry, I gotta correct you on that one. Mine just went
Really?
up 20.
Yeah.
I have never put over $35 in.
Okay,
and mine
so are you
cost
saying-
$51 to
yeah.
fill up my
So
tiny
are you
car.
saying that an extra $20 makes or breaks you?
if I was
Sometimes it does.
driving every
Sometimes
single
it's
day
that
to work,
close.
then yes, I would.
Yeah.
But don't you make that commitment when you buy a car anyways and take the job anyways, that, oh shit, well then I have to kind of buy this in particular because I have to get to point A and point B. $10, you guys, people,
That's why I
not
buy
you guys,
cheap cars with shitty gas mileage.
like, maybe you should do the opposite now. No, because here's the thing. I think that a lot of people keep forgetting that you have to put gas in it anyways.
Yeah.
You have to. There's no choice. You have no choice but to put gas in it. So complaining about a $10 or $15 difference when you go to fucking, I'm just gonna use you as an example. Go to Yu-Gi-Oh and spend $30 to $100 on a deck of cards or something like that. Or if you go,
I'm doing that every week, guys.
or if you go to
Grinder bind.
or if you
Bind
go
it
to
up.
Joanne Fabrics or something like that and spend $15 or $20 on some fucking yarn. You know what I'm
At
saying?
least I get to make something with it.
Well, at least you get to go somewhere with your car.
This is very true. He's got a point.
So again, $10 to $20 doesn't make or break anyone, and especially if you buy a big fucking truck or an SUV or a Suburban
Yeah.
or something like that. Like if you were worried about gas prices then you should have never fucking bought the car in the first place.
Right.
So that's why I just cannot stand the argument. Ooh, the gas prices went up.
They also make a lot of other stuff go up. Like
What? What went
It's-
up? Milk?
Everything.
Don't
has
drink
gone
milk
up.
then.
Don't
everything
drink
went up some-
Everything.
Oh, we've been over it with the milk too. You don't even drink milk.
He's already been used to putting 10% off on everything he buys because he buys everything online.
Oh, yeah.
So
What-
he's
what do you
used
mean
to-
10%?
At Costco, he pays like 36 cents for a gallon.
What are you
man.
talking about? I get 5 items at Costco and I spend like $200.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you get? You get like monsters, right? Like,
I get that. Yeah. I mean the difference. The savings that I make is very marginal at Costco. What I'm really going there for is for the bulk.
The bulk, yeah.
That's
you know,
what I'm
most
going
of
for.
Costco's money is actually off the membership.
And that's fair, whatever. I don't care about that. I just like going into Costco because then I don't have all these Walmart people going into Costco.
True.
They could go to Sam's Club.
Walmart is
That's fine.
so scary.
I get the membership just so I have somewhere to go that isn't Walmart.
Yeah.
And I
That's
drive.
honestly worth it just in itself.
I go to Meijer.
Hey, Myers good.
And I go to Costco, so I don't have to go to Meijer, so I don't have to go to Target, so I don't have to go with the regular population. I'm not saying that to be like, ugh, regular population. No, I like going into Costco because I know stuff is a little bit more expensive. That's cutting out all the riffraff. That's cutting out all the people that are just fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? That are there just sucking air out of people. You know what I'm saying?
Pocketing stuff.
So I would rather just be. I again, this is kind of full circle. I'm paying for the experience,
Yeah.
and I don't mind going somewhere to get that experience,
Right.
You know, so I would rather pay $100 and something every year. I think that's what it is, $110 a year. That ain't shit. I spend $110 on fucking bullshit every week.
Right.
You guys spend probably $20 or $30 on fucking random shit every week as well too, or every day. Tabitha?
Yeah, I wish I would.
Not every day.
Yeah, definitely.
Every other day?
Not even every
Other
day.
2 days.
Every other week.
Every other week. If you
Yeah,
save
every-
that 10 or
every
20
week
bucks
at
every
least.
listen.
I can't save it because gas prices are too high.
My hat's falling off. I look so fucking stupid. Anyways, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I think Kiri, do you have anything that you want to add to it? What's the name of your business again?
Skin Mage Studios.
When is it going to be opened up?
Hopefully in April.
In April?
In
Okay, because
April,
you
next
graduate.
month.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Do you already have your
Nice.
studio all set up and shit?
Not yet. We have to build that, but it's only going to take a couple days.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I thought
Couple
as well
weekends,
too.
yep.
So that's what I definitely thought.
Yeah.
We built the studio here, and I planned on being done in 4 days and 5 days, and it fucking took like 3 weeks. So, you know, so
way longer.
Yeah.
it took way longer. So.
Well, it'll probably be like a few weekends because the only time that we're going to be able to work on it is the weekends.
Oh yeah.
So
I would
yeah.
I would say another piece of advice is kind of put realistic timelines.
right. So
together,
probably in May.
in May. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say.
realistically in May.
I would say if you're building something from scratch so that way it can look nice and custom and all that kind of shit, because this studio, although it may look nice on camera, there's still a lot of shortcomings on it, and there's stuff that I would have wanted to do and wanted to build, which is why we've outgrown it already and we need to get another studio.
Right.
So Tabitha isn't too happy about that, but it's okay. We'll survive. She won't get a van because she's gonna need that gas mileage.
But that means I would have to have a kid. I don't plan on that.
All right, good job. I'm proud of you.
Definitely not playing that kids for a while.
Anyways, Sam, do you got anything left to go on? Any final questions for Kiri?
No, I think we went over pretty much everything.
All right,
touched
everybody.
base on
I know
everything.
we went all over the place. Tabitha, we're at almost 2 hours now, if I'm not mistaken.
153.
153, and we'll probably cut a lot of this out, actually,
Yeah.
because that was a lot.
It was.
But
I
and
enjoyed it.
I did too.
I did too. I had a lot of fun.
I did too. I think there's a couple parts that we kind of just went like, ugh, way off.
Right.
Now I've got some more questions I can look up. Like, what type of woods are best?
I
to
don't
roll
think
in?
it matters.
That's where I think you're wrong.
Maybe.
That's
yeah.
where I think you're wrong.
None of us are educated. We need to look this up.
Exactly. And I think that maybe some types of woods are better, because there's harder woods, there's softer woods, there's more porous woods,
There's warm
more,
woods.
there's warm
There's
woods.
warm woods.
You know what I'm saying? Or you can use marble.
I could get into hot stones.
You
too.
could get stones as well
yeah.
too. Stones have their own properties. Crystals as well too. They have their own properties as well. So it's just there's a bunch of stuff that there's just so much unknown, and the only way we're gonna know is to let Kiri flap her wings and fly and start her business. Obviously she's still gonna be here with 505 guys because she
Yes.
hasn't quit yet. So
I don't plan on quitting anytime soon.
Okay.
I really enjoy what I do with you guys.
No,
so.
honestly, it's fun, and for what you're gonna be doing, which is allowing you to grow your business and also have a little bit of a paycheck coming in every so often. I think it doesn't make sense for you to get rid of that either.
Yeah.
Because you could. I think we had this conversation before where you worked at some retail store and they were paying you like $8 an hour to
It was 10 and only like the weekend.
only the weekend.
Yeah.
So and then she literally made one, off of one session that she did. She made what she made all weekend.
Yeah, more.
So like I
In
was
one
like,
day.
I literally said, I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
And that was in because I got paid biweekly. So I got paid
bi-weekly.
I got paid what I would have biweekly in
Wow,
one day
nice.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have to go trial by error. You know what I'm saying? And you can try to tell people like, no, you should do it this way because of this, and like, nah, I'll try it out. And they're like, you know what, you end up being right. Because
You never know what someone's gonna find
And
out.
it wasn't
too.
long after that I quit that place.
No, because I think I literally said, what the fuck are you doing? You just made more in just this session than you did in your entire 2 weekends. What are you doing there?
Yeah. My thing was that we were heading into winter season. There wasn't a lot of weddings, so that was the only thing.
Nah,
but
because there was plenty there. Here, in wrapping up, the only reason there's the amount of work that is right now is because my employees don't make themselves available.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and now that I'm kind of stepping away from the editing and even some of the
I
shooting
saw
as well
that.
too.
Congratulations, though.
I mean, it kind of
Is
sucks.
it bittersweet?
Kind of,
Yeah.
because it's one of those things that I did help grow and I built, and it's nice to be able to step away from it and just kind of make sure that Sam takes care of it or whoever takes care of it or whatever. But it's also exciting because now what else am I gonna do? And my focus right now is to build the brand even further by adding this or adding that. And I'm a natural salesperson. I'm not a born salesperson, but I'm like naturally a salesperson. And I think I'll be able to do more good for the company, for the brand, by going out there and selling it. I think that having people that I trust here, having people that I can confidently say that they can get the job done, I think that was my only holdback. And I think even still, it's my only holdback is to make sure that I can trust everybody and that I know that the jobs are getting done and that I know that the brides are going to be happy at the end of the day, which is why I'm kind of hard on people sometimes. But people have to understand that I'm not hard on people for no reason. I'm hard on them because I know that they can do better, but they're not doing it enough. They're not going without. It doesn't. You can't just be handed stuff. You have to earn it. So I think earning the positions, earning the titles, earning the responsibility, and earning the pay as well too. I think that's super, super important as well. So being able to step back and allow myself to go out and sell shit and bring more business to us as well too, and actually grow the brand, I think that's going to be very exciting for me as well too. So, but anyways, other than that, thank you guys for liking, subscribing. What
Clicking
else?
that bell notification.
Yeah,
for
I literally got caught up in that ending, so I apologize. But
Spending the time with us.
yeah, thanks for
Getting
watching,
to know
listening,
me.
and make sure you guys subscribe. Like Sam said, hit that notification bell for future episodes as well too. Kiri's been with us; she's been awesome. Sam, thank you again for being an awesome
Always.
co-host. Yeah.
Always.
Oh.
Yeah. Every time.
All right.
Maybe number 9 too. Yeah. Get up there.
What episode are we? 7,
You
right?
said we're on 7,
Seven?
so
Yeah.
8.
So 8. Well, if you're there for
Well,
9,
I wouldn't suck at episode 8, so at least episode 9.
Thank you guys. Peace.
Peace.